my name is Milena and I will present my study titled Effects of Lipid Core Nanocapsules containing annexin 1 in a mouse model of induced ulcerative colitis. Nanoparticles or nanocapsules carry molecules of different natures, including biologicals, like annexin 1 or UNCL1. UNCL1 is a protein with different properties, anti-inflammatory properties, and is present in different inflammatory diseases, such as ulcerative colitis. In ulcerative colitis, UNCL1 is increased in inflamed epithelium and mediate the treatment with infliximab, reduce acute inflammation, contribute to efficient wound healing, and your absence is related to the exacerbation and irreversible damage in disease. Therefore, the aim of this study is encapsulating UNCL1 in a multilayer lipid core nanocapsule named MLNC-UNCL1 and test its effectiveness in an experimental colitis model and elucidate its interaction with macrophage using row 264.7 cell line. The synthesis of MLNC-UNCL1 was performed according to the method described previously by Venturini and Bender. And UNCL1 was added at a concentration of 200 micrograms per milliliter in polymeric membrane. Alchemical and physical characteristics was evaluated to validate the synthesis. The SS-induced experimental colitis was performed, and this model was previously standardized in our lab. The treatment was performed via intraperitoneally and intravenous with MLNC, MLNC-UNCL1, or UNCL1. The macrophage cytotoxicity, viability, and uptake was performed using MTT, annexin 5, and 7-AAT. The uptake assay was performed using hyperspectral microscopy. The results for the SS-induced experimental colitis demonstrate that just MLNC-UNCL1 intraperitoneally demonstrate results in experimental colitis. The results is observed in clinical parameters evaluated, mostly disease activity index. The intestinal length was recovered after the treatment, and this result is possible to observe in this peak. And the histological analysis confirmed these results. The peritoneal cell phenotyping was performed with a new experiment. The result demonstrates increase in total leukocytes in animal treated with MLNC. The percentage of macrophage in peritoneum was not different. Wasn't different. CD40 positive cells was decreased in animals treated with UNCL1, MLNC, and MLNC-UNCL1. CD23 positive cells was increased in animals treated with UNCL1, MLNC, and MLNC-UNCL1. The results showed the capacity of the treatments, both treatments, increased M2 macrophages or anti-inflammatory macrophages after the treatment. Ly6G showed increased after the treatment in MLNC and MLNC-UNCL1. CD4 positivity cells show decreased in UNCL1 and MLNC-UNCL1 treatment. MTT assay showed performed with 4 different concentrations of UNCL1, MLNC, and MLNC-UNCL1 showed less than 75% of viability in 24 hours, in mostly 48 hours and 72 hours in the highest concentrations of MLNC and MLNC-UNCL1. This result was confirmed by viability assay using annexin 5 and 7-AD. And the mostly cause of cell death appears to be necrosis followed by low apoptosis. The safe concentration 2 for MLNC and MLNC and so on was used to perform the cellular uptake using murine macrophages using cytoviva microscope. These results show that both MLNC and MLNC and so on was capable to penetrate in macrophages. However, MLNC and so on needs more than 2 hours to penetrate. However, both penetrate the cell in 24 hours. In conclusion, together the results obtained may contribute to the application of ANXA1 as a therapeutic tool for colitis. Thank you.